Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about the new launch financial and timeline outlook. If you are looking to buy a new launch purchase, you might be wondering that it's a little bit different from the resale condo purchase or even a private property purchase. So this is the video for you to keep a lookout. There are different stages where you don't have to pay one shot for the new launch. But because of that, there's a lot of confusion in the market whereby when to pay, what to pay, and obviously the list goes on and on in your questions. So I'll try my best to assist you to just calculate if let's say you were to buy a 1.5 mil new launch, how's the timeline payment scheme? Because I think many of the purchasers who is buying for new launch, right, they're either trying to sell their current property and then they're waiting it out, see whether should I sell first, how long am I going to be renting out, how much funds is needed at each certain time. I think this will give you clarity. And the second group of people is usually you're buying for investment. For investors, cash flow is at the top of your mind. Currently, if you look at the timeline, right, for day one, let's say you found something that you want to buy and then we are going for, let's say, 1.5 mil. So there are obviously the usual things that you need to pay, which is the stamp duty and the legal fee. Net total, your loan and also your CPF cash that is needed, right, will be amounting to 1.532,500. If let's say, for example, you're not able to get the full 75% loan, because anyways, during the construction phases, the developer is not calling for the amount, right? If let's say you have shortfall of 75% loan and below, you still have to pay the shortfall amount. So if your loan is only 70%, you still need to come up with the usual 25% down payment plus the 5% shortfall. So this is something that you have to take note. Ideally, you want to have your loan ready at 75% loan so you don't have to pay any shortfall amount at the early stage. Right now, based on today, if let's say you were to buy something, then you have to give the 5% booking fee. So for a resale is 1% option fee. When you're ready to exercise is 4%, right? This one shot 5%. Okay, you have to give this bank transfer or cashier's order. So that's 75,000 already. About 3 to 5 weeks later, depends on the speed of the developer's law firm, right? They will issue you the SMP, which is typically what you will need to exercise the option at the law firm, okay? So once you're ready to exercise about 3 to 5 weeks later, then you have to pay the stamp duty and the legal fee. Okay, so these two amounts is the main bulk of money. And then the good news is that only about 7 to 8 weeks later, right, then you will be paying this remaining 15%, which is 225,000. For a resale, usually once the completion onwards, right, it's also the same thing, then you're supposed to pay the full down payment. But this time around, you realize that you only paid 5% over here, and then now they're calling for only 15%. The reason is because we are assuming that you bought during the preview stage, the foundation is not yet completed. So if the foundation construction phase is not there yet, then you don't have to pay for the 5%. So total, you only need to pay the 5%, 15%, and the stamp duty, and the legal fee. So these 4 items. Then once the foundation is ready, about 6 to 10 months, depends on how big the scale of project is, how quickly the construction is being built. So the moment they have built the foundation, estimated to be 6 to 10 months later, then you pay the remaining 5%, which adds up your total down payment to be $257,500. So this is assuming that you are able to get 75% loan to purchase a 1.5 mil property. So let's just look into the progressive payment stage. So for the progressive payment estimates, so we have just discussed about the 20% down payment that you've already paid. Then the foundation, you have to pay the 5%. Then the other 5% will be the loan already. So basically, the difference between a new launch and resale is that for a resale, you have to pay the full 75% loan from the moment you are officially the owner already. So your full brunt of the mortgage will start kicking in. But then whereas for new launch, right, you only kickstart after the foundation, the 5% loan only that kicks in. After that, when they build, for example, the framework, then it's another 10%, then 5%, then another 5%, and the list goes on and on. Then once you hit TOP, right, you only pay a total at over here 85% only. So your full mortgage have not been kicked in yet. Then only after that, the 1 year later, then the full 100% loan means it's officially like a resale already. Based on this timeline progression, right, in terms of how much you're paying, it does shows that, for the new launch, right, you have an easier time to wait out till the market actually respond at a higher price for your unit, looking at the investment side of things. That's why some of the investors are looking it as a way of having easier time to finance the property compared to a resale. Although the price, there's a difference in gap. But obviously, all things in consideration, if you are selling a property, usually if you want to make it for the preview stage, it'll be a little bit hard because if let's say you put in a 5% booking fee, assuming in the very rare instances, nowadays it's getting harder and harder to actually have a timeline extension to help you to find a buyer for your unit before you actually exercise over here, right? But assuming even if you can, right, you'll be very pressed for time when you want to sell because you'll be forced to sell it in a short span of time. So usually, if let's say you're going for the new launch already, I mean, you should at least market the unit, at least you can collect some buyer interest first. So the moment you have the buyer interest rate, then it's easier for you to make the move, should you get a good ballot number or you found a good unit to buy and stuff like that. So that is something that you need to put into consideration and not wait till the last minute then you try to offload your current property. Especially in today's climate, obviously the numbers for new launch, it usually entice investors. But if let's say you need more clarification on the timeline, the finances, you're weighing between the new launch and resale purchase, do let me know. You can reach out to me and I'll be happy to just assist you accordingly.